Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the CODEX podcast. This is episode number 114, Mysterious Mysteries. My name is Tim the Terrible. That is Tim, but better. Down below is Dan the Kelly Art, the road manager for the curator of the Library of Comics. He's out kicking ass in the squared circle right now, but we'll see him tomorrow. We've got a hell of a show for you tonight. We have got a lot of news with the rundown. We have Our Works, the Scarlet #1 giveaway, a new segment called Variant Insanity, Random Panel of the Week, the F-Lister, and obviously a review of Mystery Men, the miniseries from Marvel back in 2011. So a lot of stuff to go over for you guys tonight. Once again, my name is Tim. Is it Sal now? Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
All
I
right.
fixed it.
There we go. And down below is Dan. Ladies and gentlemen, right here is the rundown. All right. So, a couple of bits of news to go over today. Saul Rodriguez joins the cast of Peacemaker Season 2 as Sash Bordeaux of Checkmate, and actor David Denman, you'll know him from Brightburn, the Power Rangers reboot, and obviously The Office. He will be joining Peacemaker Season 2 in an undisclosed role. Excuse me, Tim
What if they put
Meadows.
the character from The Office in it?
Oh, that would be amazing. That would be wonderful. Tim Meadows is also cast as Argus agent Langston Fleury in Peacemaker Season 2. Dan, you have a piece of news about the director of Blade. Do you want to go over that real quick?
Yeah, sure. So I just read that an hour ago I saw a report that said that Blade has lost its director, Jan Demange, I don't know how you say it, but that he is stepped away from the project. It said it was amicable, but they are left. He was the second director to leave, so they are now once again looking for a director and continue to work on the script because they said they are, that for them it's more important to get it right than get it out.
Yeah.
But at this point, like, how can anybody have any faith that they're going to get it right? It's been through so many scripts and so many directors, and and like so many different directions. And so far, all we've seen from him is his voice for a second at the end of Inhumans,
Eternals,
yeah. Inhumans was another piece of shit.
Right. Also, you heard some whispers in the wind about a possible Spaceballs sequel. Is that correct?
Yeah, apparently.
Damn, that sucks about Blade.
2040 release date. Yeah.
The same summer that the Spawn movie comes out.
Yeah, Hari Ali is gonna be using a walker to hunt down vampires. Yeah, I saw that. I guess Mel Brooks was teasing the possibility of another Spaceball. And Josh Gad apparently said it was the funniest script that he's ever been a part of. So I guess he's going to be in it, without knowing anything. And he posted a picture of the front page of the script, and the title's blacked out and the writers are blacked out. But I would venture a guess that that if he is in it, that he would be playing maybe the son of Barf, since John Candy's.
Hey,
yeah, maybe.
But yeah,
wasn't the title teased in the first one as the quest for more money?
The search for more money.
Yeah, that was 38 years ago.
So,
we'll see if they do it. I don't think.
Yeah.
I can't remember Mel Brooks ever doing a sequel.
I don't think he has. Everything's been one-offs.
There was this dumb girl that lived on my dorm, lived on the floor in the dorm in college, that when a bunch of us went to the Blockbuster one night, in the glory days.
For those of you that don't remember, in the before times, you had to go to an actual store to rent videos.
Yes. And not DVDs. We're talking VHS or Betamax.
That's right.
We're looking at yes, Mel Brooks is absolutely still alive.
Yeah, he is. He is. He looks
Yeah,
like he's
98.
198.
I think the closest he's ever done is, I don't think he directed it, but didn't he produce the producer's remake?
I believe so. Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, a bunch of us went to the video store, and
He's 97.
and she was seeing History of the World Part 2, and she's like, I've seen this. I want to see Part 1, and we just laughed at her. We're like, what? I'm like, there is no Part 1. That was the joke.
Blazing Saddles, History of the World Part 2, silent movie, Young
Blazing
Frankenstein.
Saddles is my favorite one.
It's Frankenstein.
Which is getting ready to come back into theaters this summer for a little bit.
Oh my God, that movie is great. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen any Mel Brooks movies, we all can recommend our favorites, but I think tops should be Blazing Saddles,
Yep.
Young Frankenstein, and Spaceballs. At least those three.
I was going to put History of the World Part 1.
Part 2.
Part 2, excuse me. History of the World Part 2.
High Anxiety was great.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all great.
There's so many good ones. I got a Mel Brooks box set of DVDs.
It is Part 1.
Is it?
Yeah, it is Part 1. Part 2 is Part 2 is a like a TV type of comedy series, I think.
Well, either way, you need to watch
Part 1 was the
movie.
Was the series.
Yeah. History
of Part 1 is the movie.
Oh, maybe they changed it. All right. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't see the show, but the movie is.
I remember seeing this in the theater, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
That's because you're old as shit.
But yeah, if they make a Spaceballs sequel, that would be amazing. I would love to see that. I know you guys would too.
I want to see some toys.
And there you go. Merchandising. I want
to see the flamethrower. Come on.
Where the real money from the movie is made.
That's how the story is. That's how Mel Brooks got George Lucas to allow him to make the first Spaceballs. Was Lucas said, okay, but you can't do any merchandising, which is why he had that whole section of the movie about it.
Yep.
It's Spaceballs the doll. Me.
Watch
me.
Adorable.
It's also Superman Day.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And today is the 43rd anniversary of the release of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Awesome movie.
Also a great movie that needs to be on everybody's watch list.
Yep.
Which, I mean, legitimately changed the movies, because that kind of created the summer blockbuster.
Yeah, and it was Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom that forced the MPAA to make the PG-13 rating.
Yep, it's true. Did you all see the? Hold on. Did you all see the post? And I think it was in our Comic Character of the Day site, where it was a cosplay, and it was the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he's being chased by a boulder.
Yes.
So the person dressed as a boulder. You posted that? Yeah, that was great.
I posted it in the group chat.
The kids Indiana
I thought it was
Jones
on the Comic Character of the Day page.
Down.
I might have posted it there too.
Yeah, well, that's just great.
Well, all right. So there is a lot of information with James Gunn's DCU. We are all varying opinions on what's going to happen with that. And then, with the information with Spaceballs 2 and the Blade director, let's go ahead and get to some somber news here. Over the past day or two, if you're any sort of comic follower on YouTube, you'll know what I'm talking about. Ben Potter, otherwise known as Comic Storian, passed away at age 40 due to an unfortunate accident. And by unfortunate, that's exactly what that is, right? It's on the internet now. You can find out how he passed away. That's not our place to talk about. That the family wanted to keep that information private. It's not what you think or what I initially thought, and I'm glad I was proven wrong. But if you want to know, you can go find it. Just type it in, cause of death, and it'll tell you. But losing him is a huge blow to comic book content on YouTube. If you've never watched any of his stuff, he did a lot dramatic readings of comic books. Like that was the bread and butter of his channel, and dude was fantastic. He really got into things like that, and decoding panels here on Codex was inspired heavily by the stuff that Ben Potter did on Comic Storian. I tried as best I could to follow in his example, and I doubt he ever saw any of it, but if he did, I hope he's had positive things to say, or whatever the case may be. But him passing away sucks. It's not cool. It's losing anybody, and it's affected a lot of people across YouTube. Comics Explained, him and Ben Potter were great friends, and there's other people that he was really close to as well. So go check out their eulogy videos to him. They are incredibly touching. But take a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Give those family members a call that you haven't talked to in a while. Make sure that you tell your friends or those that you consider brothers or family members and anything like that. Call them, tell them you love them. Don't be afraid to say that. There are several people that I say that to on a regular basis. My buddy Paul, my Jamie here on Codex, everybody on Codex. I love all these guys, and I tell them that on a daily basis. You should do that too. Take that time, take a minute and do that and let people know how you feel. Lettuce, yeah, absolutely. Richard, I lived in China for many years. When I finally came back to the USA, Comic Storian and Comics Explained were the first two YouTube channels I watched and subscribed to. 110%. Dan, could you throw Lettuce's comment up there real quick? I'd like to read that. Lettuce says, absolutely gutted. That guy bridged a gap, a time where I wasn't able to collect or read for one reason or another. Absolutely. Absolutely. So many stories, so much content, super long form stuff too. And the way he did it was so incredibly well put together and entertaining and full of comic book knowledge. And like Lettuce said, if there was a span of time when you couldn't read, all of it was right there for you. So their content was amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Go check it out if you haven't, and deep dive into that stuff because we all have. But yeah, Ben Potter, Comic Storian, passes away at the age of 40 years too young.
Didn't his wife say something about trying to eventually find a way to keep it going? So
yeah,
kind of fade away.
Yeah, so she on her post, she did the same thing on every social media account. Her and the Comic Storian team want to and definitely need to continue with the channel. That's what he would have wanted, as she says, and it would be a disservice to not do that stuff. Joe says another death I can think of is Ed Piskor. Might have not agreed with his politics, but Hip Hop Family Tree is awesome. Dude, we talked about that at length with what happened to him, and that in and of itself was a travesty. Ed Piskor's passing is a prime example of how things can spiral out of control incredibly fast, and there is no way to fix it. I can't remember the podcast episode where we talked about that, but we had some pretty hefty things to say. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. All right, so that is the rundown for tonight. Let's go ahead and move on to our next segment, which is Our Works. One of the people in the chat tonight, Lettuce Comics himself, is going to be joining us tomorrow night on Comic Character of the Week to talk about none other than Sam Wilson, the Falcon. Gentlemen, let's talk about that for a minute.
Oh yeah, that should be a great episode. That's going to be a great episode.
Yeah, watch some of his videos. I know his favorite character is Captain America, but since we already did the Cap episode, I think it's a little too early to do another revisit. So
right, and him and I talked about that, and the second option that he had was the Falcon, and yeah, and we're ready to go, guys. It's going to be an awesome show. I hope you guys tune in for that. Super pumped, 110%, dude. Yeah.
Yep. I got the graphics already lined up and ready to roll.
Yeah, Sam.
Just putting this idea out there, since
ran about
since each year, every day, like the date moves one day ahead. So like, all right, today it's the 12th. It's a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, June 12th is a Thursday. So next year, Superman Day will fall on the day that we do Comic Character of the Week. So if we could hold off a year, we can do a revisit of Superman on Superman Day.
Hey, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So now you got something to look forward to a year from now. But
I don't know when's the movie supposed to come out? Like
next year.
So maybe it'll be around that time too.
There you go. That's perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Comic Character of the Week, the Falcon, with none other than special guest Lettuce Comics. It's going to be awesome, and I hope you guys will tune in tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a hell of a show.
Yes.
Also, Codex is going to be at some cons this year. One con is going to be Baltimore Comic Con. We'll talk about that uno momento. The other one that two members of Codex are going to be at is FarleyCon in Chattanooga. Wes and I will be there for both days. Larry Ham is going to be there. Jim Shooter.
You got to talk to Larry Ham and see if he'll do an interview. I'd love to talk with him.
I'm going to be talking to everybody. Ron Leonardi is going to be there. John Beatty, I think is his name, the inker that on Secret Wars. He's going to be there, and a bunch of other comic creators and special guests are going to be there too. CGC is going to be there to witness signatures. I've got my G.I. Joe number 21 that I'm going to take down there and see if I can get another Larry Hama signature on that to have two.
You know what would be cool to get him to sign?
What's that?
Is
the Larry Hama action figure.
Yep, I backed it on Kickstarter years ago when they did it, and they accidentally sent me like 3 of them. So I kept one. I gave one to a friend of mine. I think I sold the other one for like $20 or $30. But yeah, it's the Larry Hama, just like the old 3 3/4 GI Joes ones, and it has the spot on the a special spot on the back for his signatures.
Dan, if you send that to me, I will get it signed for you 110%.
And it's cool, if we can just take a second, all the little stuff that it came with. I've never even opened the bag, but it's got this.
Oh wow!
I'm not going to open it now, but it's got like this little baseball cap thing,
and
it's got a grape soda sticker.
Oh wow!
For the Dreadnoughts, always eating that, and it's got a Larry Hama trading card, but then there's also this cool metal card that's in it too.
Oh wow, that's so awesome! Yeah, send me the figure, dude. I'll get it signed for you. Absolutely. Also, ladies and gentlemen, the entire Codex team is going to be at Baltimore Comic Con this year. Sal, Dan, let's tell a little bit more about that. Oh, all Greg from Lithograph, he'll be at Heroes Con this weekend if anyone else is going.
Nice.
There's a con coming up that CGC is actually going to be grading books on at the convention where you can drop them off. You can. Let me check. You'll be able to drop. What'd you say?
Yeah, I think it's Heroes Con that they're doing it at. You drop off the books right there, they grade them on spot.
Yep, Heroes Con. So, I mean, they're probably not going to grade it if you drop it off 2 hours before the close of business Sunday.
That's within business hours. I mean, they better.
But they used to do that at Baltimore. So.
Lettuce and Lithograph. You two need to hook up. You guys need to meet each other. That'd be amazing.
I think it would be cool if they did it at Baltimore again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sal can go there with his stack of 800 Venom covers.
Just elbow everybody out of the way. On side, guys.
I don't have that many Venom covers, do I? No, that's not possible.
You got that many Venom covers within reach of you at any point wherever you go in your house.
I will put this out there right now. If somebody wants to deep dive, I'm not going to do it, but if somebody does and deep dives through all the Codex episodes to see exactly how many variant copies of Venom Sal has, I'll make sure that we send something out to you. I don't know what it
get
is.
A sticker.
You'll get a Venom sticker.
There was an unboxing he did like maybe a year ago.
Stack of them.
He kept showing them, and it was one where your dog was like barking at a squirrel out back or something. But
my dog?
No, mine.
No, it was one of his unboxing videos.
Yeah.
And I remember because I went back and watched it. I was making fun of him for the Venom books, and I went back and watched it again to count them. And it wasn't. And then I noticed, like, all right, it's not. He's like, all right, I got this book and this. This many copies of like Venom issue 9. This many copies of this. But then I started noticing. I'm like, wait a minute, I got to restart this because that's definitely like the 8th cover I've seen of that like Captain America book, and I've definitely seen 12 covers of that Justice League, like
God.
whatever the titles were. And it was this one video, and I was like, geez, I had a list where I was doing like a tally as I was going.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is all preposterous. Poppycock.
This is 100% fact.
What's the matter with garlic?
What's the matter with garlic? Shit. That's great. That's awesome. There you go. Right on. All right.
This is the first time I've ever gone to Baltimore Comic-Con for all 3 days. I've never gone for more than 1 day.
Yeah.
It's usually on Sundays that I go. And what day did we go? Saturday or Sunday last year? I think
we went Saturday.
Because other than that, the only other time I went there on a Saturday was I got there and had to wait like 30 or 45 minutes outside before the line could get inside the building so I could buy a ticket and get in. And then it was so packed. I was like, man, F this. I'm going back to Sundays where it's not as busy, where I could just like walk right in the door and just walk up and get a ticket.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, FarleyCon, August 3rd and 4th of this year in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and then Baltimore Comic Con in September. I do believe it's the 21st through the 24th.
Yes.
Yeah. So look for Codex there. You'll see us.
Well, yeah.
So check it out. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the giveaway. So,
I want to give away too.
You got what?
I want to give away.
What do you want to give away?
No, I won one. Remember, I won the giveaway from
Comics.
Oh, that's right. Dan, go ahead and talk about that for a minute before we talk about Scarlet #1.
Yeah, so it was a few days ago when he released the video, and Tim messaged me. He DM'd me. He's like, "Did you watch the new Mon comic video?" And I was like, "No, I haven't watched it." He's like, "You have to," like all in caps, HAVs, like you have to watch it. I'm like, all right, I'll watch it today. And it was like in the morning. I was on the way to work, so I got to work and I put it on while I was like getting stuff put out for everyone in the office and getting all the stuff set up. And I glazed over the part where he said he was announcing the giveaway, and I'm just listening to him talk about these books that he got at this like flea market type thing he went to, and I'm thinking, all right, I mean they're nice books, but whatever. It's not like he, got Action Comics 1 for $4. So I'm sitting there like, what is Tim saying? Like, I have to watch this. I was like, hey, these are some nice books. I can't remember what they all are, but I was like, yeah, I'd like to have those. It's cool. And then he's like, I'm going to announce the contest winner. I went, oh, it's got to be someone from Codex. I was like, it's not going to be me because I never win anything. And then he announced, I was like, holy shit, that is me.
Yeah. So
I got that stuff coming to me. And, thank you, Pam.
Yeah, Pam. Good to see you.
Yeah.
So I got that stuff coming to me, and excuse me, what's the name of the? Excuse me. I gotta remember what the name of the other seller or the other YouTube channel that's sending something.
Oh, Lettuce, you're in the chat. Help us out with that if you can. But I can't remember. Right.
From What's on the Comic Rack.
Yeah, there you go.
And he messaged me because I gave him my address, and he goes, "Hey, is it cool with you if I give him your address so he can send you the stuff?" I'm like, "It's cool with me if you give anyone my address that wants to send me free comics."
Done. Well, speaking of,
so that will be a cool unboxing video. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till both of them actually come in to do a video.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Let me give a shout out to the person that I won from.
Oh yeah,
Her
go
name
ahead.
is Jackpot Comic Talks. She's on Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah.
She does primarily Spider-Man stuff, obviously, with Jackpot, but she also does like Weston you do, like the On the Hunt or the
Mm-hmm.
like the flea market videos type
Yeah.
of thing too. So yeah, she's pretty
Okay.
cool too. So check her out as well.
Well,
It's
there you go, ladies and
Damien
gentlemen.
Precious just put one up that was pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
was.
watching it as he's just flipping through stuff, and I'm like, I need that, like that Namor series. I'm like, I need like 6 of those issues.
I saw some Commandy issues and stuff like that in there, and I was talking to him on the phone after I got done editing it. I was like, dude, you missed so much.
A lot of Valiant stuff that was cool. And you know what? Those old Ultraverse books, have some value. It's
some of them do, yeah.
You can't, if even though it's been long since canceled, and it was popular at the time, like some of those books got some value if you want to get them. And I also saw the prices on the stuff too, and I was like, all right, this is, kind of typical flea market antique mall stuff. It's like, let's price these dollar books at $5. Like, oh, this one's got a foil cover, make it $8. Like,
right, yeah. Well,
there was some cool stuff there.
Speaking of giveaways, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and drop this on you. So, take a look at that. Scarlet #1. This is awesome. It's a gorgeous book. This is the Nirvana Comics exclusive. We had a damn budget. This is the Nirvana Comics exclusive cover for Scarlet #1. They were gracious enough to give this to me to give away to you. And I'm going to tell you how to do that right now. So first things first, first step, you have to be subscribed to the Codex Station. If you're not, go ahead and do that right now, whether you're watching it live or if you're watching it after it's put up pre-recorded. Make sure you're subscribed to the Codex Station. After that, live right now, type in the comments, #giveaway. Go ahead and type it in there. Even if you've already entered, do it again so that way we can make sure to get your name down if we missed it the first time. We've already got several people down right now, and I want to get a lot more. So we've got 11 people in the chat right now. I'd like to see 11 #giveaways for Scarlet #1. That's all you have to do. Like the Codex Station, follow us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Right there. That's the first step. Super easy.
That's
Next,
right. Super easy.
#giveaway in the chat. Dan will throw it up on there and we'll write it down so that way we can do the drawing at the end of the month. Bougie. Absolutely perfect. Keep them coming, guys. Do it through the rest of the episode. Or if you're watching this after the fact, throw it in there in the comment section. #giveaway. And we will make sure that your name gets on there. Lettuce, we are all sluts for free books, buddy, and we want to give this to you. So right. There you go. Right. All right.
Kind of like the socials.
Exactly. All right. So we got that so far. If we see any more throughout, lithograph, we got you down too, buddy. Absolutely. All right. It's free. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do, well, I mean, you have to subscribe to Codex and you have to do #giveaway in the chat or in the comments section after the fact. And we got you. Don't worry about that. That book it's a great read as well. Haven't read it yet. I'm going to read it this Sunday with my coffee. Pam, we got you down right here. Absolutely. All right. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we got a new segment right now. And Sal is going to tell us all about that.
Well, as everybody alludes to, I am the variant king of Venom books. I'm like the king in black when it comes to Venom books, maybe, But I have the CLZ newsletter that comes to me every week, and every week it gives me lots of little bits of information. And I like to call this segment Variant Insanity. So this is the top book of the week that has the most variant covers. And this week, it's Thundercats from Dynamite Entertainment, #5. It has, who wants to guess?
Throw them in the chat, guys. What do you think?
Let's see it. What do you think?
Well, I know previously it was it last week or week before last? It was another Dynamite book, right? It was it was Red Sonja.
And Red Sonja, yep.
I'm going to say 48.
I already know the answer, so I can't guess.
Okay, all right. Throwing the chat, throwing the numbers in. I'll just go ahead and say it then.
Yep.
It is 26. So it's 26 variants from 5A to 5ZB if you have
15.
CLT. 15.
Double that.
Let us. You are, usually it's anywhere between 15 and 25. These variants run usually 50. That's the number of books that Dan buys when the variants come out.
Well, I think we should do another. Since we're doing this new segment every week, we should also do one on which book it is that Sal bought each week. He bought the most variant covers / the most copies of, because it's not just variant covers he'll buy those 5-packs from Heroes Corner Comics
and forget about it.
He'll buy 5 of the same cover, and then he'll buy it at our regular comic shop too. He's like, well, I've got this coming from Heroes Corner, but I'm going to get it here too.
I need to read it now. I can't wait.
So what's the most variants you've ever gotten, Sal? My Lord, the cover A is the rare one. Didn't hear the question.
So no, I don't know. I maybe got 2 or 3. I did the 2 or 3 variant type of things. That's about
Dan, you and I both know that's a fucking lie.
Come on.
I was going to try not drop an F-bomb, Sal, but that
I made you do it. It's my fault.
That heinous lie you just spouted deserved an F-bomb.
Okay.
We'll find out on Saturday.
There's a whole list of them, of these variants and what, they rank them in order. So maybe we'll expand that next week.
5A to 5ZB. That's ridiculous.
You know what the shitty thing about it is, too? It's not even... How many did you say it was, Sal? 28?
26.
26.
It's not even 26 unique covers, because there'll be the art for one cover, and then there'll be the Virgin variant for it, and then there'll be the pencil sketch version of it, and then there'll be like they'll have like 3 or 4 different versions of the same cover, so it just keeps adding to it. Like, it's ridiculous.
Right.
That is insane.
That is true, and I don't like that. You're gonna have the variants, make them all unique in some way or two.
Hence the name Variant Insanity. That's dumb. God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's your Variant Insanity for the week. Now we're going to move on to Random Panel of the Week, and I can't wait to show this to you guys because you haven't seen it yet.
Real quick. Do you guys remember what the first ever intentional variant cover was in comics?
I remember it, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
It was John Byrne's run on Man of Steel after Crisis when he relaunched it.
Oh, yeah.
Issue 1 had 2 covers. It had a cover that was for the direct market, and then it had a cover that was for the newsstand.
Yeah,
that was the first intentional variant cover.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Random Panel of the Week. Are you guys ready for this?
Do it. Hit it.
All right. Sal, if you wouldn't mind reading the text on the panels.
Reading the text on the panels. All right.
Yes, please.
Something must have spilled in there inside of Peter's room. It's seeping out from underneath his door. If you bring me a mop, oh dear. As soon as I touched it, look what happened. It got all sticky.
Here's a lonely, lonely boy.
Well, he is a teenager, so,
I went through probably 5 or 6 random panels, and this one was my favorite. So
he's got to be careful with that spider strength he's got, that he doesn't just rip it off.
Blast holes through the door.
Oh, hello.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Random Panel of the Week. That's damn funny. I thought it was. Aunt May has never been so
hot and bothered.
I mean, if it's the Marissa Tomei, then
it most certainly is not. It is the sweet apple pie Aunt May.
You know what, man? But
cakes.
She's already got the hair pulled back in the ponytail. She takes those dentures out.
She's ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
We're a bunch of degenerates. Skeet, skeet, skeet. Oh, my God.
You're the one that picked it.
I know. I love it.
You should see some of the ones that I have scheduled to come out on the comic character of the day page. I have them because you could post stuff and schedule it up to a month in advance. So
that's just white venom, right, guys? Absolutely, Lettuce. Absolutely.
It's not a
you know
I'm
that
collecting.
Eminem scene, Venom.
Stand down, Dan.
But yeah, I've got the random panel of the day scheduled for the next month on there, and there's some pretty messed up ones.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see more awesomeness like that every single day, head right over there to Comic Character of the Day, Archduke Kevy's Facebook page of gloriousness and randomness. You will love it. We're all there too. So yeah, join in, have a lot of fun. Okay, Dan.
Had a big giveaway on there too. Everybody's giving away stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Dan, we're going to dive into the F list. This character you chose, and I know zero about it.
All right, I'll take the control.
I don't even know what the F list is.
Hang on a second. Let's go ahead and get this 10-second intro out of the way real quick.
All right.
Okay.
I still say Shamrock does not belong on that picture, that she has the potential to be a better character.
I will change it out. I'll put this guy on. Go ahead, Dan. Wrote up.
Gentlemen, I present to you the Caped Cod.
What the? There's more. Okay, I'm going to read this. Apt punishment for such hedonistic activity. Let that be a lesson to you all. Happiness is a warm rum. You tell a Mother Superior. Speaking of nasty habits. Oh my God. And then whatever the hell is going on here, it looks like the Tick, Arthur, somebody else. I don't know who that is. What is this guy's name again?
The Caped Cod.
The Caped Cod.
Cod.
Oh man, I'm gonna die sober. I love that. That is great. And then the next one, this is my favorite. Geez, 10 years and the only TV station you can watch is, what is it, BSC?
Yeah.
That could drive a guy insane. Nah, it'd be just like living with my third wife again. That's great. Oh my God. I may be a drunk, but I'm not a stupid drunk.
Wow.
Holy God.
Is this arch enemy a hook with a worm on it?
I don't know. Sal,
so which of you wants to take the plunge and give us his name and origin?
Sal, go ahead, man.
I have no idea. I have never heard of this person before in my life.
Take a wild guess.
I am not even going to.
All right. All right, Dan. Put up the
Christopher Crustaceous.
Put up the third wife panel. That'll get us started. All right. No, the one where he's talking about the TV channel.
Oh,
yeah.
No,
this one. All right. So Christopher Crustaceous used to be your average 9-to-5 Joe. He worked at a fish hatchery for most of his life, pretty much from the day he was born up until he got divorced. Then he started drinking and started messing around with cod in ways that people shouldn't. He enjoys lutefisk on a regular basis. But after his second wife, he became even more jaded, but not so jaded that he became a villain, but more so that after a nice bender of Schlitz malt liquor and peppermint schnapps, he got the bright idea of becoming the Caped Cod. Has never been so hot right now. Caped Cod. He joined Caped Cod piece. He joined the ranks with the Tick and Arthur and Deflator Mouse and American Made, bitten by a radioactive fish. Yeah. And his superpower is getting blacked out drunk. And that's the best that I got.
Wow.
Disgruntled fisherman whose parents were killed in a freak boating
his arch
accident.
enemy a worm on it.
Oh my God. Dan, tell us about this guy, please.
All right. So the Caped Cod, his first appearance was in the Tick and Arthur issue 2. His real name is Walter St. Dubois.
Of course.
I like Christopher Crustaceous better.
there is no origin that's given for him.
I got you, man. You go ahead.
There's no origin that's given for him. He claims to have fought and defeated the Princess of Atlantis in a mixed martial arts tournament. He is a foul-mouthed person that is constantly going through sidekicks, burning through them faster than Batman burns through Robins.
Oh my God.
In his utility belt, he keeps brass knuckles, cigars, matches, chewing tobacco, rolling papers, condoms, liquor nips, a platoon, and calamine lotion.
Wow.
He was a member of the unnamed superhero team that the Tick and Arthur were on before he moved to a place called Blitzburg, which turned out to not actually exist. And that was the last that anybody heard of the Caped Cod.
Holy smokes. Ladies and gentlemen, the F-less semi-intelligent fish who was bitten by a pent-up Frenchie. Oh my God. Wow. His name, Dubois.
So clearly is a Batman parody, as most characters in the Tick universe are parodies of other known characters.
All right, so Sal, do you think that the Caped Cod can get out of the F list?
No chance in hell. No chance.
How can you not like all of that?
Oh no chance in hell.
And I gotta say, there's a scene that I read from a Tick comic a while ago, and I was trying to find it to put in here, but I couldn't remember which one it is. And as you would expect, if you just type in Caped Cod Tick character on Google, it's coming up with a whole lot. So, so I had to look up in my Tick collection. I had to flip through all the issues so I could find, find specific panels he was in to take him from. But there was one where it was a story where he was at a bar and he was just sitting there getting wasted, and he had his costume on, but he didn't have any pants on. It was just tight. And his sidekick, the kid that was his sidekick at the time, was going there to take him out, and he was like, "Mom said that my mom said that I'm not allowed to hang out with you, but we got to go fight crime." So I can't remember exactly what it was.
Oh my God!
I was really trying to find that those couple pages, and I didn't have time to do a deep dive to find what issues they were in.
Oh my God, Sal, I'm going to agree with you. He is not getting out of the F list.
Not even with enough old base season.
Not by a sight, ladies and gentlemen. He is staying there. Just needs a new name. Bougie, I don't know. Caped Cod. That sounds pretty good.
It does say, if you look in the description of him, where New England Comics did this Maximum Circus series where it was their version of how DC did Who's Who, and Marvel did the Handbook of the Marvel Universe. And in the description, the longer description of him, it does say that he is a tough fighter, and that he will fight to the death rather than surrender. So he at least is a good at least is a good fighter.
He's not a villain.
Yeah, with that said, there's zero chance that he gets off the F list.
Gone. So, supervillain Tuna and his sidekick Clam from Ace and Gary IGD. My God, Ace, good to see you in the chat, buddy.
What's up,
good
Ace?
Good to see you here. So Cape Cod, ladies and gentlemen, permanent F lister, I think, as far as the three of us are concerned.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Put his ass on that intro panel.
I will. I'm going to after we're done here tonight, and I do a review later in the evening. I'm going to change that out.
There was another Tick character that I was close to using called Crazy Blue Rocket, but I was like, I'm going to save that one. Caped Cod, it's time to shine. Crazy Blue Rocket is a pretty good one because, as you can expect, he is crazy, and he carries his sidekick around with him, which is a tongue in a jar. That's all that's left over from his sidekick that he had before.
Wow.
Okay, Dan, the next episode that you're on, Wes approves, of course. The next episode that you're on, Dan, we have to do that. Coolest one on the F list so far. That's great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's enough of that F-lister. Let's go ahead and dive into the review for this week's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan picked this, and it is none other than Mystery Men, the miniseries, 5 issues that Marvel put out in 2011. The credits for that are as follows. Writing goes to David Liss. Artwork, that's pencils and inks, go to Patrick Zurcher. Colors by Andy Troy, and letters by Dave Sharp. Dan, if you don't mind, why don't you go ahead and give a synopsis of this story for us?
All right, so this is as Tim said, is a 5-issue miniseries that takes place. It is canon. It is in continuity for the Marvel Universe. It takes place in New York in 1932 during the Great Depression. It follows 5 characters named the Operative, the Aviatrix, the Surgeon, the Revenant, and Achilles as they battle a hidden conspiracy that could destroy the nation. It begins with the murder of a Broadway starlet who just happens to be the girlfriend of the first of these characters introduced, the Operative.
Yep.
And she is killed by a man named the General in a satanic kind of ritual. And he's the leader of a group of rich and powerful people known as the Board. And they have plans to twist the nation to their own agenda. They talk about it that, again, this is 1932. So they talk about, Russia and Germany, when they're on the rise about, teaming up with them. So they're not good people.
Yeah. The nation's in the middle of a depression too. So
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it's 32. So it's like smack dab in the middle of the depression.
Yeah.
It's, to me, it's very much in the vein of the old pulp characters that predated the superheroes, stuff like, like Doc Savage and the Shadow and the fans of some of these characters. It's very much in the vein of these old pulp characters. And it is considered in continuity, but you don't have to have any previous knowledge of Marvel to understand what's going on, because since it takes place before, it takes place even before, Steve Rogers becomes Captain America.
Yeah, before the Invaders and all of that stuff.
It takes place before the Invaders. So they do make a couple very passing references. At one point they mention early on a story that's in the Daily Bugle newspaper. And one of the things this group is doing is that they are kidnapping all these children of of rich people, and one of them is they talk about the Stark boy, which I guess would presumably be Tony Stark's father.
Yeah.
And when he's just a kid. So it puts a couple references in there to show you, like, this is in the Marvel Universe, but that's it. So it doesn't have anything else to tie to it. So you don't have to have any previous knowledge. You could just pick it up and read it and be good to go.
I love the pulp characters. Absolutely, Bougie. Yeah. So, Dan, why don't you go ahead and give your rating for this and tell us why?
Well, I picked it, so I want to see. I want to see what you guys say first.
That's fair. All right, Sal, you want to go first, or you want me to go?
You go first.
Okay.
You go first.
All right. So, Dan, I went into this story not knowing a single thing about it. I think you had mentioned very briefly what it was about when you chose this, and I'm so glad that I went in completely blind, because I loved this story.
And I didn't know anything about it when it came out. It's one of those things that I just happened to see on the comic shelf the week that it came out, and I looked at it and I was flipping through it, and I'm like, yeah, this looks pretty cool. I'll pick it up and see how it is, and then just got all 5 issues.
I loved it so much that halfway through issue 1, I put a 1930s music playlist on Spotify on while I was reading the whole thing. Nice. And that really put me into the time frame and the whole feel of the drama that we read. It was so damn good. I think the Operative was great. Aviatrix was amazing. The Surgeon, Achilles. I can't remember the
Revenant.
The Revenant.
The
My
Revenant, yeah.
Lord. And how the team name comes about is so organic through the whole story, where they call themselves the Mystery Men. It is so amazing. It tackles a lot of issues like societal issues in 5 issues, right? You deal with racism in there, you deal with sexism, you deal with all kinds of other things. It's Marvel's version of the Watchmen, kind of.
I'd say not really. It's more like Marvel's version of
the
there was
Minutemen.
a book that DC put out years ago that was a team up between, it was like the Spirit and an old pulpy Batman and Doc Savage. It's more like that. It's more like some of those books that, or where they did the Spirit and Rocketeer team up, and some of those. It's just like, here's a bunch of pulp character archetypes, like Shadow and a couple different ones, and we're gonna have our own spin on them and do it, because they're not all have superpowers.
A lot of them have no powers, right? Operative
so
has
Watchmen in that sense.
Operative has no powers. Aviatrix has no powers, and I love her name, by the way.
Yeah, I like her name too.
And all of that.
And rocket pack that she created.
It is a huge call out to the Rocketeer, and I love that. The surgeon, what happens to him in the story is so devastating, and he could have turned into a villain, but he's like right on that edge. The Revenant, the things that he went through, Achilles, how he comes into the whole story. The General, I hated him through the whole issue or the whole series, and I was so happy with how things played out. Now, the writing for David Liss, he did a phenomenal job on this, and 5 issues I don't think was enough. And that is the only major complaint I have with this series, is that there was not enough time to tell everything that needed to be told in 5 issues. If it could have won another one, I think that would have been perfect, because like the last issue, they really did a lot of time jumping, and that disappointed me, because I honestly did not want this to end. I would have loved to have seen it go on 6 or 8 issues. 8 issues might have been too much. I think 6 would have been the sweet spot for something like this. And if Marvel's not done anything else with these characters, that is a travesty in and of itself.
They never have. This is it.
There's so much more that can be told here, and I want to see that. So, David Liss, if you see this, please do more Mystery Men. I want that, and I know that once other people read this, they'll want it too. And if you do read it, like brand new, you got Spotify or YouTube, throw on a 1930s music playlist. Really dive into it. The artwork by Patrick Zurcher, fantastic. I have no complaints about that whatsoever. I think that his line work and his inking over top of his pencils was beautiful. And the way that he drew the characters was incredibly consistent and powerful. The action scenes were great. The way the characters moved was very reminiscent of what we would perceive the 30s to be on screen or in panel. It was very good. I was drawn in the whole way through visually. The writing kept me permanently hooked until the last issue, and I was honestly mad that it was over. I wanted more. Andy Troy's colors really added to this. I don't think that if they did anything else color-wise, it would have looked as good. So a big shout out to that. And letters by Dave Sharp, they were wonderful. So writing gets a 9 out of 10 from me. And the only reason it doesn't get a solid 10 is because the series ended too soon. I want more. I want a lot more. And if you could have given me one more issue instead of doing all that time jumps, this would have got a 10 for writing out of me, but it gets a 9. And I don't know if that's necessarily David's fault that that he couldn't do that. It may have been editorial. And if that's the case, shame on you. But otherwise, 9 out of 10. Artwork gets a very solid 10 out of 10 from me. So overall, this gets a wonderfully earned, beautifully deserved 9.5 out of 10. Sal, what do you think?
I'm gonna have to echo what you said. I thought the artwork was very well done. I did not like the time jumps either. Now, I'm going to give you a little precursor with this. I got asked to be on tonight, kind of like a short notice, so I had to speed read this thing.
Yeah,
and I did like it, but I'm going to have to go back and like fully in depth read it.
You really got to soak it in.
And absolutely. So yes, I didn't like the time jumps. I loved Aviatrix. That was just,
She was my favorite. The operative in
my favorite.
Aviatrix were my favorite characters.
There was one panel where you see her shooting up out of the building in the background, and that was like, I was like, damn, that's so Rocketeer. That's just awesome to me.
Just stay here, Dame. Wait for me to come back. It's too dangerous for a lady like you.
She's like,
gone.
Gone.
Yeah, whatever, pal.
So yes, I think it should have been at least one or two more issues.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually go ahead and say 2 issues, maybe even 3. I don't mind a story that's kind of spread out. I like the slow burn of a story for me, but if it's overrushed, which I felt like this kind of was,
only at the end.
Yeah, right.
Only at the end.
Right. So, yeah, I could have gone at least 2 more issues. I would say.
Okay.
And then I would do it. And I'm gonna have to give it the same rating as you. I think it's gonna be a 9.5 for me, very easily.
That's amazing.
Right. But it's definitely I've never heard of these characters or this book until like 2 days ago, where Tim and Dan are like, "Okay, can you be on the podcast this Wednesday?" And I'm like, "Yeah, here, read this." And I'm like,
I've already got the trade saved to buy on eBay unless I can find it at McKay's or Nirvana first. I'm getting it this weekend.
McKay's loves you.
They do. They love my money.
They see you pull. They see you pull it up. They're like, "We're eating steak tonight."
Yes, you are. All right, Dan. So, this was your pick, man. What do you think?
Well, I'm so glad that you guys like it. I've been wanting to review this with you guys for such a. I've mentioned it before. I've been wanting to review it for such a long time because I love this book so much. Like I said, I bought it. It was one of those things that just when it came out. Originally, I saw it on the shelf and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of a cool cover. What's this?" And I flipped through it and I'm like, "Oh, I like Patrick Zerker." I'm like, all right, this looks pretty cool. I'll give the first issue a try, and I was hooked. I loved it. Bought every issue, and it was fantastic. I didn't have an issue so much with the time jumps like you guys, but I did agree that I think at times it could have used like one more issue because it could have used like 1 or 2 more. There's certain parts in the story that could have used 1 or 2 more pages, like when the surgeon, when you get his origin, we could have used like 1 or 2 more pages there.
It was so quick, and I was disappointed with that.
And I get it. There's a lot of world building that you have to do in 5 issues, and for introducing not just the 5 protagonists, but the supporting characters, the villains.
Knox, yeah,
and since it is technically in Marvel continuity, but it's not tied with anything else, you can't lean on any other world building that's already been done.
Yeah.
So I get why it had to move fast, but at times that also made it an exciting read because you're like, oh man, this is great. Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah, the writing was good. I thought especially the dialogue. It really, because I like all that old pulp stuff. So for me, it really captured the feel of the old pulp characters and the old pulp books without having that sometimes cheesy pulp dialogue that we would get, from this writing in the 30s and 40s. So I thought it had the perfect balance with that. The artwork was spectacular. I agree. It was disappointing that I'm not going to spoil the ending of what happens, or there's twists and turns throughout it too, where some character revelations. So I'm not going to spoil anything because I really want everyone to go read it. But it clearly ends with an intention that they were going to do a mini series, and they even said the cool thing about it is in the back of each issue, there's a
like a dossier type thing.
Yeah, there's like a 1-page kind of dossier.
Oh, Bougie, you're gonna love this, dude. You're gonna love it.
Sometimes it's written by the writer, sometimes it's written by the artist. It's got some concept sketches of the characters, but it talks about the creation of it, how they came up with the different characters. And at the end of the last issue, it even says on there, like, hey, if we're lucky enough, we'll do another one. Unfortunately, they never did, and this is the last time that I know of that we've ever seen any of these characters, unless somebody drew them into the background of a comic or something. But it's unfortunate because it sets up good stories. It sets up good stories going forward. The stuff with the the operator where he's holding the thing behind his back at the end. The stuff with the Lindberghs. Touching on the Lindbergh baby, real life kidnapping. So it sets stuff up, for a future series, and unfortunately we never got it. And it would have been cool to see that, and especially since it's so far ahead of the Invaders, Captain America, and that timeline wise, you could have done a lot of stories. Having to worry about without bumping into them.
Right. So let me ask you this. There was one scene when during the Surgeon's, I guess just after the Surgeon's intro, they were at some type of bar, and was he giving himself a shot of a shot?
Yeah, he took a shot of whiskey and stuck it in his arm.
Then he talked about like, oh wow, that's really smooth.
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure I read that right.
So Dan, what's your rating on this, man? I'm very curious.
I'm gonna go with you guys. Overall, I would rate it a 9.5 out of 10. And the only reason it's not a 10 is just because it ended with the promise of more that we never got. And clearly, by the way that the creative team talked about it in these pages at the end of the books, it was not their decision to not do another miniseries. Clearly, they were ready to go forward and do it. It was Marvel that didn't want to, so I guess it didn't sell well enough. But that's the only real thing it gets from me, is that it promises more story that we never get.
Well, that is unfortunate because this was damn good. That I can't remember in recent memory reading a mini series, an older series like this, and being like, man, that was great. And I want more. I'm gonna get the trade. I'm gonna read this again. This is going on my list of top books to read at least once a year, and this will go on my list of best series read for Codex this year too.
And I've read and reread this book several times over the years since it came out. Because every once in a while I get sitting right. It probably won't be, I did do it again for this show. It's probably not going to get reread by me for a while because I've got so much stuff piled up to read that I got to get to. But it's something that I will definitely be jumping into in the future.
Right on. Hey, Doug, good to see you, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, across the board, I, Sal, and Dan give Mystery Men. Let me show that to you again so you guys can find it. Mystery Men, a 9.5 out of 10. Highly recommended. You guys definitely need to check this out. All right, gentlemen, what a show. That was absolutely amazing. Dan, Sal, thank you so much for being here tonight. Sal, thank you for jumping in last minute again. You are a trooper, good sir. Dan, after tonight, I hope you drink a ton of Theraflu and you get better so that way you can be top-notch for tomorrow for Comic Character of the Week when we do the Falcon with none other than Lettuce Comics. Right here on you got the dog going. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get out of here. There she goes again. Aria, it's just Dan. Calm down. All right, ladies.
Thank you, Lettuce.
Thank you, Lettuce, very much, man. You're going to love Mystery Men when you get a chance to read it.
And all right, that all 5 lead characters all had very distinctive designs. Like you weren't looking at them go like, oh, these are all kind of look the same. Like they were very distinctive in the way that they were designed and the way they were presented.
Yes, unlike other titles that any of us have read in the past where we could have given 2 shits about the characters from the start, I was totally invested in everybody from the beginning to the end. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us tonight right here on the Codex Podcast. I hope you guys had as much of a great time watching us as we did you. Well, as you did watching us. Yeah, that, whatever.
No,
It
we
doesn't
are
matter.
watching you.
Well, yes.
Stop watching yourself.
Go to bed after this. You're tired. At the Codex Station, ladies and gentlemen, your favorite social media platform where we're live streaming right now. Yeah, heal up, Dirty D. Make sure to hit the like, share, subscribe, and follow so you don't miss content like this all the time, every time, ladies and gentlemen. And if you've made it this far, hit the like, share, subscribe right now. And don't forget, make sure you subscribe to Codex and do hashtag giveaway either in the chat right now or in the comments section if you're watching this later, so we can give that book to you at the end of the month. Also, head over to the Codex Station to get some merch, meet the team, and so much more. Once again, thecodexstation.com for all your Codex needs. All right, Dan.
Wait till you see the shirt that is coming out that I designed for Sal.
I can't wait.
Oh, God.
Dan, I'm going to let you close this out tonight, man. Go ahead and throw your tagline to the great people in the chat tonight.
All right. Well, until next time, we'll catch you by the spinner rack.
See you guys.
Yeah, bye.
Gaping holes there. I said it.
Brown Leonard.